Okay, so I haven't checked it in a long time. I don't even know what day this is. All of that, don't care.
I told you so.
So I've made it past the party scene. I've made it past this kind of reconnection scene. I've made it past a lot of scenes. And I am now at a point where I'm coming out of the fun and games into the end of the story. I want to give myself 2 chapters, maybe three because sometimes I'm long-winded, but I'm doing a lot of maneuvering and like combining different scenes together, different events. There's a conversation that originally happened at the party between 2 different people, but now with the way the story has progressed, makes so much more sense to happen later on in between one of the people that's an original person in the conversation, and then the other person is actually new. Because some of the stuff that I want for the second book, it just would have been too much to include it in here now. That being said, what I'm doing now, after hitting this high word count, because I've just been writing for some time, is figuring out a way to combine all of the things that I want, that I have in my outline, to happen right now in the next 2, maybe I'll just say 3, just a flat out 3 chapters, and then structuring them in a way that I determine what is absolutely necessary, because some stuff may have to be removed. Like even that conversation that I just mentioned, I really want that one here because it does set up some things in a later book, but it also makes sense to still be included in this first book because it fleshes out this B plot just a little bit more. So I know that's staying, but there's some other details that when I think about it there's 2 events that I want to happen, one of which was mentioned in like 2 chapters ago, and even if it doesn't make it into this book, I'm fine with that because I have a novella idea that will address that, or have it in the second book. Like I'm doing just a lot of moving stuff around. But the other event that I want to happen, I know it's going to take up so much more space and so much more time to flesh out and to do it in a way that makes sense, and it's just going to add a lot of words. It would give you a little bit more insight into a few characters, but also without it, I don't think the story changes that much. And the fact that I feel that way about it now, and I haven't even wrote it, like I wrote down the scene, like, you know, what I want to happen, but I haven't I ain't put that pen to paper. And the fact that I'm like, yeah, I don't need this. I'm not gonna worry about it. So that's what I'm doing now, just restructuring, pulling things, few events, consolidating things, trying to make it into 3 chapters, hopefully 2, but 3 chapters, and then move the F around because I'm so close to ending. And my workout. So right now I am moving into chapter 30, just finished chapter 29, and chapter 29 was 3,546 words, and that brings my total for the book at 62,163 words. So doing pretty good. So I'm going to let this be my check-in. I don't know where this falls in this video, so like videos before, either it's going to end here or stay tuned for more clips, but I'm about to dive into this. So yeah,
I ain't trying to bother. You're moving me in all the right ways.
I know it goes without saying, but every time you write, you get better at writing. So I don't know if I've mentioned this publicly in one of these videos, but there is a book that I am writing in the background. When I say writing in the background, I mean very much on the back burner. It has been outlined and, well, not outlined. There's a brain dump There are pieces of an outline and some stuff that's been written, but in the midst of me writing this series of books that exist in this city that I created, this fictional city, I'm getting better. And so that book, that is the back burner book, is also getting better just by being shelved. I don't know. So I've taken a few days off from writing, and not intentionally, it's just I've run into I'm going to say an issue for lack of a better word, but it's not an issue. There's a portion of this book that there's a place in which this book could have stopped and been a novella and been fine. And I reached that point and then I kept going with my outline. But there's a place that I've run into now where it's happened again. It feels like a natural stopping point for this book. And though I am going to continue writing because I've made it this far, I need to get out the rest of the story. I'm in I want to say a funk or a mood. I'm only thinking of like negative terms, I think, because I'm just so used to like the term like writer's block or these negative connotations with not having a project done, specifically writing, but a project done in a certain time, in a deadline, be it from your 9 to 5 where you have to get certain things done at certain times or whatnot, or your creative endeavors or things that you're volunteering for. Like there's always this idea of meeting a deadline. And I think that may have been part of it, but I also know that I've done so much and I'm not going to punish myself. Yes, I want to get these 3 books done before the year is up, but if I only get to book 2, let's say in November, then I'm not going to be heartbroken about it. So I don't know, I just got to kind of recalculate, calibrate my mind and get back into the swing of things. But that's next. It is currently Saturday and it is about almost 8 p.m. and I have just done other things for me. I've cleaned up a little. I've watched some anime, which, by the way, I am under the impression that anime has really helped with my storytelling, but that being neither here nor there, I'm going to get back to writing. Maybe tonight, it might be tomorrow, or it might be Monday, hell. But I'm going to get back into it, revisit the story. I think I may just go through and read the story and read what I have so far and see, you know, what it's given. And hopefully that'll help push things along and have me finishing out or continuing on relatively quickly. But all that being said, we chilling. We brainstorming. We're enjoying.
Turn left onto Sojourn Drive.
Waiting for the signal. I wanna go down and watch it fall down, down. You give me the green light, speeding like there ain't no stop sign. My eyes set on the prize, yeah.
So there is something that I have been thinking about with this book. It's the meet cute. It's where the guys get together and have their little "hey, how are you" moment, and how freaking cute, funny, adorable, traumatizing that scene is. It's like,
I'll do the best I can, but when I got
all right. So the like I was saying, I don't know what just happened there, but with the 2 guys having their meet cute and the circumstances surrounding it, I don't know why that has been playing over and over in my head. I'm like 60,000 plus words in this book, but whenever I think about it, when it's not immediately the last thing I wrote, my mind goes to that moment, that point in time, and the different point of views. And it's something that I really enjoy about my own writing, is like being away from it for a while, even though technically I haven't been away from this book for too long. But like the beginning portions of the book, it's been a it's been a while since I've really dive back deep into them. And I don't know, there's just something about that initial meeting, and maybe that's because that's when their worlds like finally collide, and then a series of events kind of set us off on our way. The other thing that's kind of I've been thinking about is, even though this is like a romance, this is a two partners in this, will they, won't they? There is one definitive main character, and the partner is not, I guess they're like a co-lead. And I say that because when you were in the mind of the initial character, who I'll just say his name is Ashley, and we're in Ashley's mind from the beginning. We start off with Ashley, and Ashley has the majority of the chapters, the scenes, the interactions. We do get the partner or the co-lead or the other hero, because it's two men, and we get things from his perspective. But I will say, because we don't get as much, because if the book right now was to be released, about I can say about 80% of this book, 75-80% is Ashley, and the other 20% is the partner. But the things that we do get of him, I feel like it's so rich, and it's just enough. Like one of my biggest concerns was I never wanted to just put more chapters of him, because I think in earlier videos I may have even struggled with like deciding if I was going to take one of his earlier chapters and split it up into two, and like, oh, does that make it an easier read? Does it seem like he's in the book more? And it's like, no, if we're going to get more chapters of Ashley, and Ashley's chapters vary in length, but the partner's chapters are substantially longer, and we get less of him, then like, what's the point of trying to split it up to make it be more like, don't try to force it to fit. Mind you, I have an outline done and everything, so I'm just kind of following around. Oh, this was the other thing that I did want to mention, is that because it's a first draft, because the outline is done, but I left room to use my pantser side and to be more flexible, there are some details that have changed from the outline, like earlier in the book. And one of the bigger things that changed is the way this relationship is framed, I guess, once we actually, get through some roadblocks. And that does affect things later on in the book, but not to the degree that it shifts the whole book. Like, there's one particular argument that I'm thinking of, one disagreement, miscommunication, that has now been altered by the change that has been recently made. And so now I have to figure out, what do I do, like how to still attack that and get the feeling, the vibe, the mood that I want. Because you as the reader, what I'm hoping for is that I do show the growth of these characters, but also show how you can backslide into some of the same behaviors from before, thus making one person technically wrong and one person technically right in this disagreement. And I think the way that I have it set up now, I cannot use the same wording, and I have to alter that conversation, or else it's not just one person is technically right, one person technically wrong. It's going to look like this is a asshole and you don't deserve any nice things. And so that's something that I need to change. So I don't know what I'm going to do tonight, if anything at all, but I know what I will do is just start from the beginning of this story and kind of read it through and see what's what.